Hi, Charles Cherney here, and I wanted to share with you today Magazine Street in the neighborhood of Cambridgeport in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And we can see it demarcated in red on the screen here. So it starts in Central Square and continues down through the heart of the Cambridgeport neighborhood, all the way down to Magazine Beach, which is on the Charles River. And so it's just a delightful main street in the Cambridgeport neighborhood. Here's the street sign, one of many found along the way as you make your way down Magazine Street from Central Square to the Charles River. There have only been a handful of sales in the last several years on Magazine Street. So in May 2023, an attached single family with no parking sold for $1,810,000. This attached single had exposures front and back, so just two exposures, and larger, needing some updates at point of purchase, and it took a little time for this to sell closer to Central Square. There is a larger 52-unit building at 55 Magazine Street, and 4 condo sales have occurred here in the last couple of years. A 1-bed for $735,000 and 3 2-beds for $900,000, $945,000, and one just over $1 million with a parking space. And then just 3 other condo sales of note in the last several years. A below grade 2-bed for $630,000 in the fall of 2022. Another 2-bed above grade with over 1,000 square feet for $760,000 in 2023, and then a larger 4-bed with nearly 2,500 square feet condominium sale in 2022 for $1,450,000. And then recently, a 2-family development opportunity closed for $2 million in November of 2023, and that offering included some commercial space. It'll be interesting to see what happens now that it's changed ownership. So not a lot of market activity on Magazine Street in the last several years. I wanted to just share some photos that I've taken over the years to give you a sense of how delightful Magazine Street is. It's just incredible. There's some beautiful, deeper yards and an eclectic mix of well-maintained architecture, and you're just getting a sense of that from these photos. Took this photo on the eve of Halloween. You can see the fall colors here. Love the Vespa out front. Again, it's unusual to see these deep yards on occasion on Magazine Street. One of the things that makes Magazine Street so inviting is that there are no telephone poles on the street. And so the brick sidewalks and the lack of telephone poles do make it a very inviting street to walk down. It's interesting, when I'm out showing property in Cambridgeport, I can tell sometimes that people feel there's something different about Magazine Street. And once I point out there are no telephone poles, the buyer with me out on a tour understands immediately how that makes it so much more appealing. There's a mix of single families, multifamilies, and some condominiums and apartment buildings. This is an apartment building with a very distinctive entrance. Love the color. There's so much color on the street, and it creates a real nice feeling on the block. This shot is just extraordinary with the sunshine and the great tree and the inviting architecture. Again, I just happened to be up above looking across Magazine Street and took this shot when I was out on property tour one day. It just shows how inviting the street is. You can see the brick sidewalk there. Colorful entrance with the arbor. Again, I love the color from both the fall weather and the house itself. Just so magical. Lovely entrance with the picket fence and the rose bush. It's just so magical on Magazine Street in Cambridgeport. There is actually a lovely park, Dana Park, mid-block on Magazine, that has pathways, park benches, grassy areas, play equipment for children, and that's a real bonus. As beautiful as this street is, it's enjoying this lovely green space as well. Dana Park. Hard to argue with the color. It's just so joyful. American flag out front at this address. Fun. Colorful entrances with the stained glass. Flowers are inviting. Covered in ivy, quintessentially Cantabrigian residence. There's a wonderful little market, Black Sheep Market, pictured here on Magazine Street at the corner of Prince. The address is 101 Magazine. And, you know, it's just such a great little corner store. They have great coffee and fresh pastries. They bring in donuts from Union Square. There's a friendly staff here, always inviting people. And there's a neighborhood vibe. They have some fresh produce and a few gourmet grocery items. And it's just delightful. It's a picture of me out front. I had a listing nearby recently, and so I was making regular visits to Black Sheep Market. And for a brief period of time, I felt like a member of the family. And it was just nice to get a sense of the local neighborhood scene going in on a regular basis to Black Sheep Market. Black Sheep Market otherwise owns Black Sheep Bagel in Harvard Square on JFK Street. And just wanted to finish with this shot I took on a walk this past fall when I was out on Magazine Street. And it never gets old to walk the street, to enjoy the architecture, the brick sidewalks, sort of enjoy the reprieve from telephone poles that define so much of the Cambridge urban landscape. When you're walking down Magazine Street, you don't have to see them or compute them. They're just not there, which is wonderful. And, to start in Central Square where the street begins and find your way all the way down to the Charles River and Magazine Beach is just so wonderful. It's why Cambridgeport is such an inviting neighborhood. It's so perfectly positioned between the heart of the city at Central Square and Magazine Beach and Charles River at the other end. My name is Charles Cherney, and I welcome the opportunity to connect with you and be of service as you seek to buy the right home or sell for the best price in Cambridge or neighboring Somerville, Massachusetts. Reach out at any time by text, telephone, or email if myself and my team can be of service to you as you look at buying or selling in Cambridge and Somerville. Be in touch. Take care.